She is the middle school student who took on Lake Ontario. Annaleise Carr shot to fame after swimming across Lake Ontario in 2012. And now 1 week from tonight, Carr is aiming to become the youngest person to cross Lake Erie. Sean Leithong has more on how the young marathon swimmer is prepping for the feat.
It was a remarkable moment, the final strokes of a 27-hour journey into the record books. And finally, Annaleise Carr had achieved her goal. At 14, she was the youngest person to swim across Lake Ontario. The trip made international headlines, earned Carr a Diamond Jubilee medal, and thrust her into the spotlight. But that was then, and this is now. Carr's back in the water, doing the leg and arm work in preparation to become the youngest person to cross Lake Erie.
Well, I'm excited right now, but I think the day of I'll be nervous.
Nervous because this swim will be much longer than Lake Ontario. Back in 2012, Carr swam 52 kilometers from Niagara-on-the-Lake to Maryland Bell Park in Toronto. This time, she'll leave from Erie, Pennsylvania, and stroke a daunting 75 kilometers across one of the widest sections of Lake Erie. But Carr is driven by a passion that was born when she visited Camp Trillium back in 2011.
I don't think I would have ever thought of swimming across the lake, but just seeing that camp was amazing.
Camp Trillium is a place where children suffering from cancer can spend time with their families away from the hospital.
I got to meet some of the families and see some of the kids there and just see how happy they were and how everyone could forget about what was happening outside of this camp, and it was almost like a safe haven.
In 2012, she'd hoped to raise $30,000, but her swim brought in $200,000. Now the stakes are higher, and Carr's training for 2 to 3 hours per night.
If she can swim 50, she can swim 70.
Coach Paula Jongerden crossed Lake Erie back in 2002, and she knows that there's mental hurdles to overcome.
It's very easy to hit what they call walls.
Those walls are negative thoughts that creep into your mind during a swim. One way Annaleise plans to overcome them is by thinking about Camp Trillium and about where she's swimming to.
One of the reasons why this swim will be so long is where Annaleise has decided to finish. Coming directly across Lake Erie would only be about 40 kilometers, but would end up here at Long Point. Annaleise has decided to go around Long Point and continue on to Port Dover, right near her home.
Carr's from nearby Walsh, Ontario. She's been well supported by Norfolk County. In 2012, bad weather forced her swim to go 9 hours longer than expected, so this time, Carr will use the added inspiration to carry her in.
Her grandpa told her that, think of it, you're swimming home, and she is, because this is where she lives.
Now, Nick, I mentioned that she raised $200,000 last time for Camp Trillium. Well, that's the goal this time. The good news is she's already raised $100,000, and it's still a week until she steps into the water. If anybody would like to donate, they can go to our website, CHCH.com, and we'll direct you from there. I also asked Annaleise, she will have done 2 of the 5 Great Lakes, and asked her if she wanted to go for all 5. She just said 1 lake at a time.